Hi, my name is Caroline, and I'm a senior at NC State University, and I'm from Huntersville, North Carolina, and I've been going to King's Table for about half a year now. My life before Jesus was definitely influenced by the world. When I was graduating high school, I feel like I was going through kind of like the crisis that everyone goes through of like, I'm an adult now, I'm moving away, life is feeling really real. And I started having those big questions of like, why am I here? What's my purpose? What was I made for? And I think for so long, I had pretty much firmly said I didn't believe in Jesus. And there was something in the back of my mind that was like, well, to be fair, I've never really tried. I've never really read the Bible. I've never gone to church. I've never actually investigated Jesus and his claims. And so there was a part of me that wanted to seek him out. So as a non-believer, I came to King's Table to investigate the claims of Jesus Christ. And there was something so critical into me coming back and loving King's Table. And that was that at every sermon, the pastor addresses and acknowledges non-Christians in the room. And I felt seen in a way I've never felt before. I felt like they were professing that this was a place not just for people who already believed, but people who were at all stages of faith. And for the first time in my life, I felt like there was room for me at the table too. And it was a sense of belonging that I just hadn't felt before. I think what really set in and made it all feel so worth it was finding people who also walk with Christ. I got connected to Grace and David's community group, and I met some really wonderful young women and men who love Jesus and live like it. And just knowing that like I don't feel weird, like I don't feel weird when I want to pray before I eat, or I don't feel weird talking about Christ, like it's so ingrained in our community. It's this foundation that we all share. And so it just made walking with Christ so much better when I knew that I wasn't alone in that walk. And it's so refreshing to meet people who love God and you can talk about God with them and they understand and you can pray with them and ask for prayers. And I just cannot express how much it means to me that I have a community like that at King's Table. Before I came to Christ, I think I was so focused and stuck on what I would lose when I walk with him. I had seen people give their life to Christ and saw what they turned away from. And I remember thinking like, I just can't do that. There's no way. Like there were some sins that were so embedded in my routine, in my life, and in relationships and friendships that it felt like I was losing so much if I came to Christ. I realize now that what I gain from walking with Christ is incomparable to anything that I ever could have lost. And that relying on God does not make you weak. It actually makes you super strong. The strongest people I know are the people who come to the foot of the cross every day and deny their broken and sinful nature and are led by the Spirit. I made the choice to get baptized because I know that baptism is not what saves us, but it is an external proclamation of what has already happened internally. And I would see people get baptized at King's Table and I would learn about what baptism was for, and I knew that I had been saved. I knew that I loved God and I was walking with him, and I felt like it was important for me to take that step in my faith to just profess that like he is my Savior and I am a sinner and he died for my sins, and now I get to walk with him for the rest of my life, and I've been made new in him, and he's given me a grace that is just greater than anything I've ever experienced. I feel like it can be hard to invite people to church sometimes because you don't know what they'll say or how they react. But what's the worst thing that could happen, right? Like they say no, whatever it may be, but what could they gain? And maybe they could be like me, who comes to Jesus and comes to church as somebody who's really struggling in life. And I can assure you they are welcome and there is a place for them here, and their life can be completely transformed. I know what he's done for me, and I honestly can't imagine where I would be now without him. And so I just would say like, you are giving them the chance to have eternity and to have the best walk with Christ. The best thing that you can do, the best decision I ever made was coming to Christ. I just would hope that you could have boldness in that invite, because it is so worth it, because they could end up like me. If I could summarize my walk with Christ in one verse, it would definitely be Ephesians 5:8, For you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Live as children of light. I love this verse because I don't think I really realized how dark my life was before Christ until I stepped into his light. I feel like just stepping into his light revealed all the darkness I was living in. And now I know that even on the darkest of days and the hardest of times, I am filled with light because I have Christ in my life. And the second part of the verse says that we should live as children of light. And I love this because it gets at the really critical purpose of the Bible, is that the Bible does not just call us to believe, it calls us to action. It calls us to live, to walk, to follow in Jesus' light. And so I feel like my story didn't end when I stepped into God's light, but it continues as I walk with him and live for him forever.